And when you look at the fixtures on Tuesday, one really stood out, and that was PSG against Juventus. It was PSG who'd win the tie by 2-1. The hosts were brilliant in the first half. Mbappe linked up fantastically with both Messi and Neymar. He would get a brace. It could have been so many more goals as well for PSG. Weston McKennie, though, got one back for Juventus in the second half, and that kind of took the whole life and momentum away from the hosts. In the end, they hold on to win by 2-1. And for more on this, we welcome in Frank Leboeuf and Don Hutchison. Strange old game, this, Don.
It was, Dan. It was a case for 45 minutes of PSG being absolutely brilliant. Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, all of them. Verratti, middle of the park. Marquinhos at the back. They just controlled Juve. The football that they played was out of this world. The goals they scored were out of this world. Then all of a sudden, second half, Allegri changed and went from a back three to a back four. He got players in the middle of the park to be a little bit more narrow, competed better, got crosses in the box, basic stuff, got crosses in the box for Vlahovic to go and attack. They scored from a corner. McKennie scored, as you said. And then what happened was, because PSG were at such a high level in, I wouldn't even say in top gear in the first half, they dropped down so many gears in the second half, Dan, they couldn't get going again. And I wouldn't say it was nervy or edgy, but Juve had one or two chances at the end that it told me that PSG are going to be the same old story. They're going to be brilliant when they've got the ball, hopeless when they haven't got the ball.
Same old story, Frank?
Well, yes, I'm afraid so, because I watched the game, and against like Don, I was really amazed by the first half. I said, okay, everything's changed. Everybody's very spot on. Neymar working hard, even defensively, even Messi working hard, even Mbappe working hard defensively. I said, wow, that's fantastic. They communicated very well together. The first goal is an absolute jury. It was fantastic. The chip from Neymar to Mbappe, that was fantastic. And after second half, and I have to say, football is full of details, and the details is the PSG could have scored the third goal if Mbappe didn't completely forget Neymar, and would have been offered the third goal, and the game would have been over. Instead of that, Mbappe was completely selfish, tried to score the hat-trick, missed it, and like 2 minutes after, McKennie scored the first goal for Juventus. And then we came back to the PSG we know, panicking when they didn't have the ball. Donnarumma made a mistake on the goal, I think. He wanted to go out and he missed it, but saved at the same time Paris Saint-Germain on the one action. But you have Ramos, Kimpembe, Marquinhos at the back, and you feel that everybody's panicking. Unbelievable. That team will never change. Well, maybe, hopefully they will. I like the fact that Galtier had the guts to put Messi out for the last 7 minutes, I would say. And we'll see, because everybody was partying at the end, but Messi, we came back to the dressing room. Let's see what's going on.
How come you put that game on the faraway TV if that was the big game?
What do you mean?
You put it on the TV furthest away from me.
Well, it was closest.
We had all these TVs and you...
It was closest to me.
Oh, right.
That's what I...
So you were interested... This was the game I had the least interest in, to be honest with you.
Well, no, that's fair enough.
No, I'm just being honest. With all these games going on, I was like...
Yeah.
Anyway, the one thing I did notice, Don, I said to you just before we came on air, was there was 2 tackles that got people going. There was more than that. But the one in the first half on Mbappe and one in the second half on Neymar. But let's talk about the one on Mbappe in the first half that almost cost the fisticuffs. I mean, when the replay came in, the way the players were reacting, I thought he'd been two-footed and he got a broken leg. It turns out the centre-half was a little bit late and Mbappe got there first. I mean, are we going to have some sort of law in this Champions League? Can we get UEFA involved and maybe Kylian Mbappe is not allowed to be tackled or Neymar's not allowed to be tackled or whatever it is? Because it just seems to me, I know they're the crown jewels, but, it's an aggressive contact sport, and the reaction of some of these PSG players to some challenges that went in were pretty pathetic.
Don?
No, I agree. It was Brahma, the centre-back, who went through the back of Kylian Mbappe, and they all got around Bremer and the referee, and they wanted yellow cards and red cards. And it's one of them, Craig, Frank will be in there before, where you go through the back of the the centre forward Mbappe, and he's on the floor, and I'm thinking, oh, he must have got caught down the Achilles. That'll be a painful one. Then you see the replay come in, and he literally just got a tap on the instep, and he was rolling around the place. Neymar in the second half, rolling around the place. It's like they've got this little air of arrogance where you're not allowed to touch them. And a better side will get right in amongst. They'll see that. They'll notice that. Coaches will notice how fragile and at times frail they are, and they'll say to them, "Get stuck into these," because when the going gets tough, they'll cruise through the group stages. They'll fly through it. But once you get to the two-legged affairs where it's going to be different, it's going to be tight, it's going to be hard work, and when you haven't got the ball, there's more edge on the game, 50-50s going in, they might just go under.
I'm not suggesting that people go out with an intent to do it, but sometimes it happens, you know, like, right, OK, Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, let's try and be, shall I put it this way, let's be aggressive with them. I'm not condoning, you know, let's try and injure people, although it does go on. But I think the bulk of the challenges, particularly on Mbappe, are not preconceived, intentional challenges that are to hurt. The guy's just so quick. And so when Bremer makes the challenge, I think the intent is to play the ball, but he just gets in a little bit late because he is so quick. But I tell you what, it was a defeat for Juventus, but I think they have to be quite pleased with the way they held, the way they stayed in there, and the amount of chances that they did create over the 90 minutes.
It could have been home and hose though after the opening 45 minutes, and that's the thing, Frank, isn't it? Are we being a little bit negative considering how good PSG were in that first half?
Yes, but we all know that football is made of consistency, and that's the main concern that we have about Paris Saint-Germain. You know, they can be very good and suddenly disappear. And it's why you have the remontada, it's why you have the loss against Real Madrid last season. So many stories about that you say, oh my God, they're so good, and suddenly they become so bad. So that's the biggest work that Galtier has to do, is to make sure that there is that consistency that everybody is looking for. I just want to go back to the fake injuries that Mbappe or Neymar can get. You know, it's a contest in France to bet how many times Neymar is going to go on the floor, and also for Mbappe. But the worst for me is, okay, they can feint, they can pretend that's pathetic, but that it happens in the world, and we can see that every weekend, you know, in every field in the world. But when they go back up, they complain to the ref on top of it, where we all seen that there was nothing. That's the worst for me. That's really appalling.
Right, I'm trying to be a bit positive
No,
here.
but hold on. Let me just dampen your positivity. I don't give a stuff. I don't give a stuff. That graphic we put up, right, we're talking about PSG.
Yes.
Juventus will not even... How many times do we put a graphic up here over the last few years, and Juventus are not even in the running with the bookies? The price is not good enough to get them on that graphic.
Yep.
They're not on it.
Yep.
So let's just put a lid on how brilliant this may have been for 45 minutes. Because this is not the Juventus that we've known in their heyday a few years ago. Not that that was their heyday, but they were in better shape than they are now.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was a win and it was okay, but Juventus did create their chances. They're not a great side, and they're not even on that page to win the teams that are going to win potentially the Champions League. So let's just temper our PSG love-in, which it seems to be at the moment.
No matter who matter who the opponents were, though, Don, it was still a couple of brilliant goals, particularly the opener.
It was sensational, Dan. It was brilliant. I mean, Neymar picked up some lovely positions where he was playing a little bit free off the left-hand side and just getting on the ball. And then he flicked a lovely little ball over the top, had Bonucci and Bremer in a world of trouble. But the ball coming over your shoulder is one of the hardest ones to hit. And he watched it come over his shoulder, Mbappe, took it on the laces, got it away from the goalkeeper into the bottom corner. And then his second goal might have been even better. Hakimi with the assist. All of them were involved. And then, again, he was brilliant. I mean, when this guy is on it like he was for 45 minutes and once or twice in the second half, there's no one faster in world football. There's probably no one I say that loosely because there's obviously Erling Haaland and Lewandowski. You get my gist in front of goal where he's devastating because you can't catch him. So if you play the right ball into space, no one's going to catch him anywhere on this planet. So the chances that he gets, he's still got to be a pretty amazing player to finish them. And his 2 goals tonight, if anyone's watching the games and see the goals come in, just look at his technique, Dan. They're just out of this world. They're amazing finishes.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.